How's everybody doing? This is Anthony Brian Logan. Today, I come to you a little bit different and a little bit of a different format. And I want to talk about an issue that has been brought up many times on YouTube and my regular walking life. Whenever I come across an issue like this, it really never gets resolved. It never really gets discussed in depth. And what I'm talking about is discrimination. Is it okay? Should we allow it in modern society? Is it a welcome thing to have? Do we want to have it? Do we want to outlaw it? Do we want to use the force of the state to eliminate it, to support it? What do we want to do? Now, before I get into that deep discussion, I just want to tell you why I'm doing this video today. Like I said earlier, whenever it gets brought up, it's never really discussed in depth. And I feel like a lot of times when it's discussed, you have guys that don't really have a dog in the fight per se. And what I'm talking about is a video I just saw on YouTube from a guy named Dave Rubin and a guy named Seidel. I forget his first name, but I'll place the actual full video in the description box below. But in this video, Dave Rubin is talking to the guy about discrimination as it relates to gay wedding cakes. Now, if you don't know who Dave Rubin is, he is a gay married man, and he is not necessarily a conservative. He identifies as being a liberal, but more of a classic liberal. Somebody that does not believe in the government basically being all in your business. Somebody that believes in freedom. He's more like a libertarian than anything else, but he says he's a liberal. On his show on YouTube, he has people from all walks of life that come there and they're able to discuss certain issues that may not be popular, but it's done in a very civil and a very good way. Now, in this particular episode, he has a lawyer, a so-called constitutional lawyer. I'm doing air quotes here. And the guy is saying why the state should be able to intervene and prevent discrimination based upon sexual identity, sexual orientation, race, etc. Now, throughout the conversation, Dave Rubin is hitting him with a lot of different things that he's not really able to answer. Some things he answers, some things he doesn't. And I think the crux of the argument is a moral one. Even though the lawyer was trying to say that the argument is not moral, in reality, it is a moral argument, because how can you actually say that it's okay for the government to tell you who you must serve and who you must not serve? So before we go any further, I'll give you my opinion about it. If you've not been able to guess so far, I think that if you are a private company, you should be able to serve whoever you want to serve. It shouldn't matter whether that person is gay, straight, black, white, dwarf, giant, fat, skinny, tall, small. It doesn't matter. It's your business. You have the right to discriminate against whoever you want to discriminate against for whatever reason. That's just the way I look at it. Because think about it like this. What if somebody comes to your restaurant, they come into your bakery, and then let's say you're gay, right? And you're at the front counter. And then you got a person that comes in there that has a religious ideology that is totally against homosexuality. And when I say that, I don't just mean in the Christian kind of way to where it's like in the Bible, they, Deuteronomy, don't lay with a man, etc. No, I mean, they say, I hate gays and I want you to die. Now, if that person comes in there with that t-shirt on and you're a gay person having to create a cake for their wedding, and then on that cake, you're going to have the logo or the insignia or some kind of passage from that religion of which is against homosexuals. Now, I'm not trying to say that the passage on the cake must have something homophobic in it. I'm saying that that this church or this group of people that have some kind of strange ideology do not like you. Must you create their wedding cake? Must you cater their wedding? It's a very simple question. Now, the answer obviously is no. But to guys like the lawyer that came on Dave Rubin's show, maybe the answer is yes. Maybe you're required to do whatever the state thinks that you should do. That doesn't make any sense. Now, I will say this. If you are in a public place that's funded by the federal government, then they can't discriminate against you like that. They got to serve you, because if they don't, then they have to give you money back that you paid in taxes or make you be tax exempt. Like, let's say, for example, you have a public institution funded by the government 100%. It's a federal government institution, and they say we're not going to serve blacks. If that's going on, then I don't pay taxes, because taxes are forcibly taken from me to fund this venture. So if you're not going to serve me, then guess what? I don't pay any more taxes. And that's how that goes. It's very simple. That should be the solution to a lot of these problems. And the free market is a beautiful thing because it balances itself. Just like this. If you are a guy from Pakistan or Lebanon or India or somewhere like that, and you go into a predominantly or a high black area, like where I'm at in Virginia, Virginia is a very high black state. This is where the first slaves came in 1611 in Jamestown. But that's a whole big story. I'm going down a rabbit hole, so I digress. But this is where it all started, right here in Virginia, 1611. So we have a high black population, higher than most states, to where you'll see we had a black governor at one point, Douglas Wilder. We have a lot of black mayors, black politicians in general, people that are in high level positions that are black in this area, in the state of Virginia, especially where I am in Hampton Roads. So if you're coming from Pakistan, Lebanon, etc., like I said earlier, and you decide to come here and put up a corner store and you say you're not going to serve blacks, well, guess what? The market is going to just basically run you out of business. You're not going to be able to survive if you're not selling to black people in Hampton Roads, because this is a very high black area. Matter of fact, we live in an area where it's like seven major cities. The city of Portsmouth has about 55% black people in it, with about 100,000 residents. So that's a pretty big amount of black folks in one place. So if you decide to come there and open a corner store and you don't serve the blacks, well, you're not going to be able to make any money. Therefore, you'll go out of business. And I'm all for that. If you want to come here and waste all your money, hey, that's cool. Do it. Go for it. If you want to be dumb, that's your business. Matter of fact, I know a lot of contractors that love to get their work. They'll love to get to work, and they'll love to be able to basically finesse you out of your money, meaning we know you're going to fail, but we'll take your money anyway. That should be okay to do. And the same thing if you go to a majority white area that's a high liberal population. Like, let's say you go to San Francisco and the store says they don't serve the blacks. If that word gets out, the liberals that live there won't want to come to you because of virtue signaling or whatever it is. They'll feel offended by that and they won't want to come to you. That's how that works. That's how the free market works. So the government intervention, in my opinion, is not necessary. I think the majority of the people will be able to regulate what is right and what is not right in a place, as long as it's not violating anybody's rights. I'm not violating your rights by refusing to work for you. If anything, it's the other way around. If you force me to work for you when I don't want to. And beyond that, why would you want to get something from somebody that does not want to serve it to you? If you're a gay person, why would you force a place that is against gay people or does not like gay people or does not want to engage in anything related to homosexuality? Why would you force them to bake something for you? Why would you want that? Why wouldn't you go to a place that is more open to your walk of life? And some would say, well, what if it's not a place anywhere nearby that does it? Well, just like Dave Rubin said, who is a gay married man, you can move somewhere else. You can go to Amazon. There's all kind of places that will be able to fill in the void. And again, that's the beauty of the free market. You're able to have competition. That's why monopolies are a bad thing, because competition makes it to where the preferred product, the preferred service in the area excels above all. And that's the way it should be. I was watching this show called The Breakfast Club. This is a very popular urban radio show. They usually focus on a lot of gossip and stuff like that. It's three hosts. One person is black. Another person is black, but he's very light skinned. Another person is mixed with black and Chinese. Now, the black and Chinese young lady was talking about her friend who was denied an application to stay in the Airbnb, possibly because they were black. Now, they were with a person that's white, and the person that's white went on to the same place to apply, and they were accepted. But my question is this: why would you even want to stay in the place of a person who does not want the black person in there? Why would you want to go through all these changes to stay there? If they don't like you, then give your money to somebody else that does. Surely there's more than one place to stay in the Airbnb. So why must you pick that one place? See, Airbnb, Uber, a lot of these companies, they're the personification of what the free market is all about. If you keep a bad place, if you are a bad driver, whatever it is, guess what? You get penalized due to people not wanting to come to your place. If you get outed as being racist, if you get outed as being a hate monger, if you get outed as being some kind of creep, a con artist or whatever, you'll just fall. And you'll fall much faster due to the real-time rating system that people rely upon in order to be able to find a place that they want to stay. Why would you reward somebody who is not doing a good job in serving you? It does not make any sense. It's just like the whole thing back in the 60s and 70s where we would just sit at a table in a white-owned establishment and get spit on. Why? What's the point? If they don't want to serve you, then why would you force them to take your money? Why force a place to take your money that does not like you? How about you start your own place and then people that were not allowed to come in there can pay you the money? That's how the free market should work. The guy in Dave Rubin's interview was talking about MLK and how you had to sleep in his car growing across the country because white establishments did not allow him to sleep there, the hotels. But we also had black hotels. We had a lot of things that were catered just for us, and that was a free market working. Now, I am against segregation as far as it being something that's legislated by the government. I don't think the government should legislate segregation or integration, meaning they shouldn't force somebody to go to one place when they don't want to. They shouldn't force somebody to serve somebody when they don't want to, but they should also not force people to stay out of a place where they want to go. It should all be based upon the business provider and the actual consumer, unless it's government funded and I pay taxes. If it's government funded and I don't pay taxes, then that's fine. I'm not entitled to that service if I don't pay for it. If I do pay for it, then you got to serve me or don't charge me. And as it goes with taxes, you're forcibly taking that money from me. So I don't think that's right to have tax money taken from my pocket and then deny me the service which I pay for by force. And that's just pretty much it. So to anybody that's saying discrimination is wrong, discrimination is a bad thing, I don't understand how that makes any sense. If you're a human being, you like other human beings, you like young ladies, if you're a man, or whatever it is, you like men, if you're a man, whatever, you discriminate based upon your preference. If you're Dave Rubin and you're gay, you discriminate against women because you don't like women, you like men. If you are Dave Rubin and you're married to one man, that means you discriminated against other men who may have wanted to marry you or may have wanted to date you. If you like myself, I like a certain kind of woman, a certain kind of young lady, a certain kind of body type, a certain kind of personality. And that means I discriminate against others. The government nor anybody else can force me to do something I don't want to do when it comes to my preferences, my choices, or my business. I serve whoever I want. And anybody that comes to me and says, hey, I want a flyer, I want a website, etc., I have the right to refuse that service for any reason. Now, if I'm being forced by the government to do a thing that I don't want to do, what does that sound like? I mean, it sounds kind of familiar. We had that back before 1865. It was called a certain thing, but I don't have to say it because you already know what it is. Let's not go back to pre-Civil War days. Let's advance forward in the future. So that's pretty much all I got to say. What do you think? Do you think that the government should be able to come in and force individuals to serve whoever the government thinks that they should serve? Now, if that's your assertion, how can you say that's okay? Because you do understand that same power can be yielded in a way that you may not like. What if it's you one day, you're a black person and you're in a bakery and you see a white supremacist or a white nationalist or KKK member? I'm not saying they're all the same, but I digress. But what if they come into your restaurant, they come into your bakery and they ask to be served? Must you serve them? Are you required to do it? And how would you feel if you didn't serve them and the government came after you and made you do it? How would you feel? Wouldn't that bring back memories of your ancestors having to serve KKK when they don't want to? That's just my 2 cents on it, but whatever your comments are, let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this content, please donate on Patreon or PayPal. The links will be in the box below. But as always, if you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.